Rock legend Eddie Van Halen has died at 65 after a long battle with throat cancer. The rocker's son, Wolf, sharing the news on Twitter today, calling him the best father he could ever ask for. In fact, Wolf became the bassist for the group Van Halen in 2006. Eddie Van Halen reportedly diagnosed with cancer more than a decade ago. In 2012, he was voted #1 of the 100 greatest guitarists of all time. For more, Greg Harris is the CEO of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio. Good to see you, and thanks for taking the time for us here in Canada, Greg.
You know, it's my pleasure to share time with you. These are unfortunate circumstances, and what we do is we mark the passage of a great musician, a very influential artist, and an icon, and at the same time we celebrate his legacy. He left us with incredible music, and he influenced so many.
How did you find out the news? Because I understand you have been in touch with the family.
Yeah, we have a real sense of community with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we've known about his situation for some time, and we're just we send our condolences to the family, and we what we do at the museum is we'll lower our flag at the museum. We'll play his music all day long tomorrow, and we'll put some of his items in a special place, sort of in a place of honor at our museum, and that's how we're going to celebrate his legacy.
You know, we're looking at old videos, and I remember a lot of them, particularly from the 80s. You know, you had David Lee Roth as the lead singer, Eddie Van Halen, his brother Alex, and the bassist as well. And so, bringing them all together into that very unique sound that Van Halen had. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, this Van Halen are the godfathers. They straddle between Jimi Hendrix, Cream, and Guns N' Roses. Van Halen's right in the middle. First records come out in the early 70s. They are just on fire. And Eddie's guitar playing is in new heights. As you mentioned in the lead-in, he was voted the #1 guitar player of all time. And think of the guitar players we've had. So his style was emulated. They're take no prisoners style of rock and roll, and really just expressive music. This is the same artist that is noted for that Sunset Strip, sound that Guns N' Roses embraced, and also plays lead guitar on Michael Jackson's Beat It song. He's an innovator. He designed the equipment he played. We were in touch with the family recently because we have a few of Eddie's guitars on exhibit, and he built them. He put the pickups in, he soldered them together, he made it work, and he patented them, and other musicians used his innovations. Just an incredible, curious, innovative individual that shined on stage. And
also interesting, I guess, given his talent and his abilities as a guitarist, that the group was named Van Halen.
Yeah, it was the two brothers. They'd been playing together since the early 60s, and they formed this band. And, with that attack, they proved it didn't matter who was lead singer. Now, that said, David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar are two pretty great lead singers. Mark Anthony's a great musician as well. They found it, but really they defined the sound. They wrote the songs. They drove it.
And I know he's also, very, very well known and has received a whole lot of accolades for the innovation with the electric guitar. Can you tell me a little bit more about that, sort of in layman's terms, his ability?
His ability. So if you were to flip his guitar around, these guitars are like a Frankenstein, completely carved out. Stuff is jammed in the back. It's taped in and soldered together to give you that sustain and that sound. And this is a guy that, much like Les Paul before him, the greatest innovator, the inventor of the solid body electric guitar, Les built his own gear. So did Eddie. And guitar players copied him for decades. They still do. And he continued that. He does keyboard innovation and other things. Just a musical genius. Could not read music, but he could really play it.
And when were they inducted into the Hall of Fame?
They were inducted in 2007, and they were inducted by Velvet Revolver, which was Duff McKagan and Slash from Guns N' Roses. And they looked at them as their... they were passing the torch to them, and they were so honored. The induction ceremony itself was in 2007 at the Waldorf Astoria in New York City.
Greg, thank you so much for taking a bit of time amid this breaking news. It's always great to have you with us. I wish it was under better circumstances, but we appreciate you giving us your insights on the passing of Eddie Van Halen.
We appreciate the chance to talk about these artists. There's only 330 individuals or groups in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we're honored that we'll preserve Eddie's legacy forever at the museum.
Greg Harris is the CEO of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a great place to see, of course, located in Cleveland, Ohio. Be well, Greg.
Thank you. Come see us.